She put the sizzle in grease. She dared us to get physical. And millions of fans honestly loved her.
I honestly love you.
But despite her wholesome image, pop star Olivia Newton-John was far from vanilla.
The biggest misconception about Olivia is that she is 100% angel.
She's got the dirtiest laugh I've ever heard.
She took one look and said, I want him.
In the next hour, we'll see Olivia bask in the media spotlight, then descend into a dark, private hell.
Olivia was absolutely on the floor like she had lost her soul.
She's been through more hardships, and she's gone through something that is the unthinkable.
Just when she thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. We'll take you aboard the fishing boat where Olivia's boyfriend was last seen before his mysterious disappearance.
No one really knew what happened to him.
This is the story of a woman who ruled the top of the charts before heartbreak and tragedy brought her down to earth.
You have to find humor in every situation. And that, for me, is the way to survive.
Olivia Newton-John, the true Hollywood story.
Tell me about it.
On January 14th, 2006, 57-year-old Olivia Newton-John was honored for her achievements as an Australian entertainment legend.
She's loyal, she's caring, and still to this day, every time she walks in the room, I get chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, 'cause the power you're supplying, it's electrifying.
But Olivia was not always on top of the world. Despite 4 decades of success as an actress and international pop star, her private life has been filled with pain.
You ask them, would you wish that you didn't have to go through this? And Olivia has responded, I do not want this to happen to me, but I am stronger for it.
Olivia Newton-John made her debut in Cambridge, England on September 26, 1948. She was the youngest of 3 children in a brainy family. Olivia's father, Brindley Newton-John, was a respected professor at Cambridge University. Her mother, Rona, was the eldest daughter of Nobel Prize-winning physicist Max Born.
The house was always full of these brilliant, interesting people. My mother played the cello and her sister played viola.
I mean, there was always music around the house. Dad would play the piano and Olivia would sing.
Even as a little girl, I was always harmonizing to everything and singing and performing.
Olivia got along with older brother Hugh, but sister Rona was another story.
When she got annoyed with me, she'd lock me in a cupboard.
She tells people all the time that I used to lock her in cupboards, so I guess she was annoying, or I wouldn't have done that.
It's kind of a joke between us.
When Olivia was 5 years old, her world changed abruptly.
My father was offered to be the dean of a college in Australia. And so we moved from England to Australia with the whole family, my brother, my sister, and myself on a ship.
The family adjusted to life down under, but there was trouble in the Newton-John household. When Olivia was 10, her parents decided to separate. Older brother Hugh and sister Rona had already left home, so Olivia moved to an apartment in Melbourne with her mother. But Newton-John had problems in school.
I really wasn't a very good student and I wasn't very focused, and I think what didn't help that was that my parents were getting divorced.
Olivia found comfort in music.
When I got to about 14, I met some young girls of my own age and we started singing together, and we formed a little group called the Soul Four.
Then, in 1964, Olivia entered a local talent contest and won a trip to England. She delayed her departure in order to appear on several Aussie TV programs.
I was offered a job on a daytime children's television show. I had to do everything. I had to be a hostess, I had to do commercials, I had to sing. So I got an incredible training in television very young. I also was doing a ghost show where I met John Farrar and his wife, Pat Carroll.
She was a babe.
Olivia wasn't all that experienced, but she just looked so great and sounded so great. She went on the Go Show one day to do a song called Locomotion, it was called, and she didn't move. And the producer came over to me and said, would you teach her a few dance steps?
At age 17, Olivia dropped out of school and, accompanied by her mother, finally took her prize trip to London. A few months later, Olivia reunited in the city with her friend Pat.
We joined up as a double act. Pat taught me how to dance and do routines together, and that's how we started. I was used to singing on my own, and so was Pat. And we had, in those days, you had cords on your microphones, and we ended up totally twisted around one another.
Well, we went all over London, stayed in really scungy, really cheap digs and had no money, played a lot of nightclubs, and there was one place in London we had a week's booking, and the first night we were about to go on, and all of a sudden we realised we were at a strip bar. And we went out in our little dresses and did our number, and hardly any applause. I guess we didn't turn the guys on at all, and we were fired.
The London pop music scene was in full swing. Olivia and Pat began hanging out with a group called The Shadows, led by charismatic singer Cliff Richard.
I was about to do a tour, and I asked Pat and Olivia to be my backing vocal group.
Cliff was impressed by Olivia's voice, but guitarist Bruce Welch was knocked out by her looks.
And we were out on the stage rehearsing with the band, and we started standing the shadows up by doing all the shadow steps. And then we turned to the left, and there was Bruce standing there looking at us. I know you're rather embarrassed at the time, but he thought she was cute.
You know, Bruce was a very strong person. He knew about music, and I could understand why she might fall for him, and she did.
Bruce was a character that did everything to excess. And he always drove expensive cars and big cars and had great houses. So I can believe anything could happen with Bruce and Olivia.
The couple got engaged in 1967. Olivia's career seemed as promising as her personal life. In 1969, she caught the eye of music producer Don Kirshner.
I was looking for a girl singer. I saw Olivia and it was just magic. And I said, why don't we do an action-adventure group, James Bond, with music? And that's how I put together Tomorrow.
Tomorrow was Kirshner's concept for a British version of the Monkees, an American band he helped develop for TV.
And they wanted the all-around, girl next door. So I met them and was put into this group, and we made a movie. And it was a sci-fi musical.
In August 1970, the film premiered to great expectations. But Tomorrow tanked.
I went to see it somewhere in London, and I think I was the only person in the theatre.
Everything about it was wrong for Olivia.
The whole Tomorrow situation was a disaster. I never even saw the film.
It was terrible and absolutely died a death, and we were disbanded and let go.
Despite the failure, Olivia scored a solo recording deal with Festival Records. In April 1971, Olivia's cover of the Bob Dylan song, If Not For You, reached the top 10 in Britain.
The joy of her first hit record was absolutely amazing.
I was so lucky because, to be honest, I didn't really like it. I wasn't crazy about the song and didn't think I did a very good job on it.
We shared the same manager, and once Olivia had made her record, If Not For You, he'd said to me, look, you have a TV series running. How do you feel about introducing Olivia? So I did, and she became part of the team.
Olivia Newton-John.
Cliff and Olivia clicked, but Bruce and Olivia did not. By 1972, their relationship hit a sour note.
I don't think any specific thing happened. It just faded, I suppose, in some ways. They went their separate ways and decided to call the engagement off.
It seemed to me that their relationship could have worked, and even now I'm not quite sure why it didn't.
Meanwhile, Olivia's career blossomed. In February 1974, her third single, Let Me Be There, topped the U.S. country music charts and even crossed over to the pop top 10. Then, Olivia struck gold with a moving, wistful ballad.
I love you. I honestly love you.
I just knew it was an amazing song. I recorded it in a little studio in London, and I remember the take we used was the first take.
I Honestly Love You became Olivia's first #1 pop hit and proved that the 26-year-old Aussie was the real deal. In March 1975, 26-year-old Olivia Newton-John won a Grammy for Best Female Pop Performance of I Honestly Love You. The ballad epitomized the easy listening trend in music, and it didn't hurt that Olivia was just as easy on the eyes.
She was so beautiful, and the voice was so beautiful, I thought, this girl's a superstar.
There's no way that anything could have stopped her.
Olivia's career was soaring, and a fellow Aussie singer suggested she come to America permanently.
Helen Reddy said to me, you know, if you want to make it in this country, you really have to move here. And I thought, well, what I got to lose? And I packed up and I moved to Los Angeles. I remember I moved into the Sunset Marquee. It's kind of a famous place for people to stay in the music industry. And the first night I was there, I heard gunshots and sirens outside my door. And I thought, what have I done? I was really scared.
Olivia joined longtime friend and music guru John Farah in the U.S. They were a potent combination. In March 1975, Farah wrote and produced another hit for Olivia, Have You Never Been Mellow?
When she sang it, it sounded like a real song, and I think it was Olivia's second #1.
That spring, Newton-John was named Female Country Vocalist of the Year by the Country Music Association.
Olivia Newton-John. Right.
I'm absolutely knocked out to accept this award from the Country Music Association, but I'm very sad that I can't be with you all tonight.
To Olivia's surprise, the honor sparked an uproar.
They were very mad at me, and I didn't understand why, because I didn't even understand the separation between country music and other music.
She wasn't considered to be a country singer, especially coming from Australia.
They thank me now because I crossed over the idea that country music could be pop and country was like, I was one of the first people to do that.
Meanwhile, flamboyant film producer Alan Carr kept pestering Newton-John about his new project.
They're getting calls in the office that Alan wants Olivia to be Sandy in Grease.
We didn't know if she could act, and we didn't know if she'd be interested. Some other people were considered. One of them was Carrie Fisher, but Olivia was always our first choice for Sandy.
John Travolta was attached to the project, and John always wanted Olivia.
John had just come out in Saturday Night Fever, and he was a huge, huge star.
Among Olivia's concerns were the age thing and the difference between she and John, who was a few years younger.
She didn't know if she could come across looking 17.
I was very nervous about doing the movie because I had made Tomorrow, and Tomorrow was a disaster, and my musical career was just taking off. I had to hit records, and I thought, I don't want to make another mistake.
I remember walking through Hyde Park, and she is crying, and tears are rolling down her cheeks, which is killing me, saying, Billy, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm right to be Sandy.
So an agreement was reached that there would be a screen test.
She went in there knowing that everybody wanted her to be able to do this. This was really a test for herself. She saw John. It was sort of like a meeting of two people that had known each other forever. Their eyes met. That was it.
We did the screen test, and it was magic. And I said, yeah, I'll do it.
Grease began filming in the summer of 1977 at LA's Venice High School, which became Rydell High. Playing love-struck students, John and Olivia got an A+ in chemistry.
He said he had such a crush on her that he could barely talk.
From the very beginning, John wanted to take Olivia under his wing.
John adored her. He was just like a puppy dog.
Well, Olivia and John definitely didn't become an item because Olivia was always with somebody.
He became like a big brother to her, really.
But Travolta wasn't the only one smitten by Olivia. She also mesmerized the rest of the cast and crew.
I was experimenting in the trailer with the makeup and hair and the different tops and the different pants.
No, the pants that Olivia came out in, she had to be sewn into them.
I went out to show the director the outfit, and I walked out of the trailer and got such a response from the crew.
Olivia's pants were so tight. They were so perfect, her shape. It was like, you know, she was poured into them.
People were like just vultures hanging all over, looking at her and lighting her cigarette.
There were gasps. There were people fainting and carrying on, and she loved every minute of it.
I thought, what have I been doing wrong all these months? And I had a ball.
And the fun was just starting. In June 1978, Grease had its world premiere.
Everyone was clapping and applauding and screaming. Olivia found out at that moment the star that she was.
Film fans went wild for Newton-John and Travolta.
The biggest mob scene happened in London, where the premiere was in Leicester Square, and I remember John and Olivia were in a limo, and the crowd started rocking the limo back and forth, and they were being tossed around inside it.
Grease was an immediate smash at the box office. That helped propel the soundtrack album to #1, where it reigned for an unprecedented 3 months. Olivia and John's duet on You're the One That I Want also reached the top of the pop charts in both the US and the UK. The single eventually sold more than 2 million copies and sent fans back into theaters all summer to see the film again and again. By the end of the 1970s, Grease was an international sensation, and so was the film's co-star, 30-year-old Olivia Newton-John.
Tell me about it, Stone.
The big question for Olivia was, what next?
I waited quite a long time to do anything else.
Xanadu comes along, and if anything, Olivia, who was always reluctant, was sold on a project that was not the best project for Olivia.
Xanadu began production in the summer of 1979. While rehearsing for the futuristic roller disco fantasy, Olivia hurt her tailbone. That got the attention of a handsome dancer named Matt Lattanzi.
I see Olivia skating around with what looked to be like a diaper. She took a bad fall on the skates and just fell on her derriere pretty good. So they strapped on some foam on her butt to protect it. Who's that funny-looking girl?
20-year-old Lattanzi was just another face in the chorus line, but he still managed to captivate Olivia.
We actually found each other interesting. So I set a time and a date to meet at Will Rogers Park, and we went for a hike. The first kiss. It was amazing. I'll never forget it. I was addicted after that.
She goes, there's somebody in this movie that I'm absolutely crazy about.
My guess is she took one look at Matt and said, I want him. He's fresh in town. He's unspoiled. Lock him up and send him over.
After about 3 months of our relationship, I was spending the night at Beverly Wilshire with her, but we still didn't want anybody to know. The makeup and hair would come in very early in the morning. It was time for me to go into the closet. They have very comfortable closets, the Beverly Wilshire, I want you to know.
She was very protective of this relationship, so only her most inner circle of friends were aware of him for a long time.
The filming of Xanadu was definitely a highlight of my life.
Isn't anyone interested in my feelings?
Xanadu premiered in August 1980. The film grossed just $1.5 million in its opening weekend, a major disappointment for Olivia following the overwhelming success of Grease.
Didn't achieve what everyone thought it would, but I got to dance with Gene Kelly.
The critics slammed Xanadu. In a word, said one reviewer, Xanadon't. Variety added insult to injury when it referred to Olivia as a roller skating light bulb. Despite the failure of Xanadu, the film did provide some magic. That song became a #1 hit for Olivia, who remained as popular as ever. In August 1981, she received a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. For Olivia, being a star was not as important as finding good material. That fall, she heard a demo for a catchy new tune.
Terry Shattuck and I always thought, let's not write a love song. Let's write about the physical side of love. Let's just write a sex song, really. I got excited and then thought this would be a great song for someone like Rod Stewart. I went to play it to my manager, Roger Davies.
Olivia comes in, she hears the song in Roger's office, believes it's for her. And it was not at all. And, you know, at the time, nobody sort of had the nerve to say to Olivia, no, that's not for you, it's for Rod.
Newton-John recorded the track, but then began to have second thoughts.
Physical was, for its day, very raunchy. And I got very nervous just before it came out. I said to my manager, "You've got to pull it. I don't think I can do this. They're going to hate me. And what are my fans going to think?" And he said, "It's too late."
Olivia had to sort of think, oh my God, what am I going to do?
I said, "Look, I think we need to do a video and we need to make it funny."
Olivia said, let's take it out of the bedroom and put it into the gymnasium.
The music video got lots of airplay, but the song's risque lyrics received even more attention.
People started realizing what the song's really about. A lot of places like Utah and South Africa and other places around the world all of a sudden started banning it.
I found it embarrassing, and I didn't like the fact that I was banned. I felt really uncomfortable. As far as the record went, it was probably a good thing.
Physical stayed at #1 for 10 weeks in a row and went on to become the biggest hit in Newton-John's career. But Olivia's fame had a dangerous downside.
I was very scared when I found out that there were people stalking Olivia.
Olivia's peace of mind was directly affected by the fact that there may be somebody out there lurking.
There was a guy who would send letters threatening her and me, and I think Matt, and anybody that was, close to her. And he ended up murdering a whole family of people and was coming to California. So she went to Australia.
I slept on roofs sometimes. I was paranoid about it.
She found a girl in her bedroom once, which was terrifying. But everyone protected her, around her, and she got through it okay.
Meanwhile, Olivia's singing career was red hot, but her acting left audiences cold. Producers tried to recapture the magic of Grease by re-teaming Olivia and John Travolta in Two of a Kind. When the film premiered in December 1983, it grossed even less than Xanadu. Still, Newton-John remained optimistic, especially in her personal life. On December 15th, 1984, 36-year-old Olivia married 25-year-old Matt Lattanzi during an intimate ceremony in Malibu.
We made it very, very close. Friends, family, home, and that was it.
Marriage to Matt gave her renewed confidence and stability. In 1985, Olivia decided to shake things up. A kinky album cover shot by erotic photographer Helmut Newton showed a very different side of the squeaky clean singer.
The biggest misconception about Olivia is that she is 100% angel.
She can tell a dirty joke better than anybody.
She's got the dirtiest laugh I've ever heard.
She was not a boring goody two-shoes. She could party with the best of us in a limousine driving down the coastline of France, getting trashed with champagne.
Even so, deep down, Olivia was a homebody who longed to start a family. Her dream came true when Chloe Lattanzi was born on January 17th, 1986.
Chloe. It was actually the name of the perfume that Olivia was wearing when we met.
You can list all the career things in the world, but nothing compares with having a child. She was the greatest joy in my life and still is and always will be.
People think it's different somehow to have a famous parent, but it's not, because she's not famous to me. She's my mom.
Olivia also gave birth to a new business project that same year. She partnered with longtime confidant Pat Carroll to open Koala Blue.
Olivia, one night at dinner, was saying how she missed Australian meat pies and milkshakes and all these things. And she said to me, "Wouldn't it be great to open an Aussie shop?" And I said, "Why don't we also put clothes with it?" And that's how it started. We opened the first store in October 83 on Melrose.
Koala Blue rapidly expanded into a popular chain.
We ended up with 60 stores throughout the world, and at one point we were shipping 15 million a year in clothing, and we were moguls, and then this recession hit and it all collapsed.
By 1991, the promising venture was in serious financial trouble and eventually declared bankruptcy. At the same time, Newton-John's personal life was in turmoil. Olivia grieved with good friends Nancy and Jim Chuda when their 5-year-old daughter Colette died from a rare form of cancer.
Olivia was there. She was in the hospital. She was singing to her. She was so wonderful.
It was incredibly shocking and tragic because she was like my child. And she was Chloe's best friend.
Losing Colette was really, really hard for me.
After she passed away, Olivia and Jim and I thought we had to do something in her memory.
Through this incredible pain, they have created something wonderful. They've created Check, which is the Children's Health and Environmental Coalition. Our children may only be 25% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. Let's make sure it's a wonderful one.
But tragedy dogged Olivia. The following year, her dad became seriously ill.
Olivia and I went to Australia, and it was while we were there that Dad had a biopsy and found that he had liver cancer and a very short time to live.
On July 3rd, 1992, 78-year-old Brinley Newton-John passed away. That very same day, in the midst of her grief, Olivia received a frightening report about her own health.
I had been checking myself pretty regularly because I had lumps before, but this particular time and this particular lump, I felt something was wrong.
I'd been worried about her for about 6 months because she hadn't looked well.
The mammogram showed nothing. My doctor insisted that I had a biopsy. The cancer was lurking at the back and wouldn't have been discovered had I not had that biopsy.
I was in the room when she found out she had it, and Olivia was absolutely on the floor like she had lost her soul.
She was devastated, but we're all there for her, and that's all you can do.
This healthy girl who just cared about the earth and the world and people and trees was told that she had breast cancer. And she was in pieces.
You just hear those words, cancer, and everything changes.
I went through some terrified moments and some nights of terror where you just can't move because you just don't know what to expect.
Coming up, Olivia faces an uncertain future.
The surgeon thought that I was nuts.
And later, a mysterious disappearance.
We know that he paid his galley bill half hour out in a breakwater, and that just indicates to us that he climbed off the boat. And what happened to him after that, I don't know.
1992, the seemingly golden life of Olivia Newton-John took a dark turn. The failure of Koala Blue and her father's death added to the anguish. Then in July, doctors dealt 44-year-old Olivia a devastating blow.
That cancer diagnosis was the end of our childhood together.
It affects you in lots of ways, and I think some of the ways you don't know until a long time later.
Olivia put up a brave front when she underwent a partial mastectomy and reconstruction of her right breast.
You have to find humor in every situation. That for me is the way to survive. The surgeon thought that I was nuts because I was making jokes the whole time.
Grueling chemotherapy treatments followed.
I went to chemo with her once and sat with her while she had it in her veins, and they put this ice pack on her head, which she said was going to save her hair, and it was amazing, it did.
But Olivia was so strong and so valiant in her ability to see through her cancer and win her cancer.
I was having greater difficulty than she was. I couldn't imagine that I was losing her.
Olivia became a warrior, and she was fighting this disease for Chloe. This was all about, I am not going to leave this earth not having the time I want with my daughter.
Olivia chose not to tell 6-year-old Chloe about her illness, but she couldn't keep it secret forever.
I went to school, and a kid came running up to me and goes, "Ha, I hear your mom has cancer."
She came running home from school, all terribly, terribly upset. I couldn't lie at this point, so I told her that, yes, I had, but that I was fine, and the reason I hadn't told her because I didn't want her to be worried.
And I said, "Why didn't you tell me? I could have taken care of you."
Olivia's cancer was soon in remission. As Newton-John regained her strength, she began writing songs about the experience.
Most artists use their work to work out personal problems or personal development, and I think that's one of the things that Olivia was doing with her Gaia album.
In November 1994, Olivia celebrated her recovery with the release of Gaia. But at the same time that Olivia was healing, her marriage was suffering.
She didn't want to end the relationship. She wanted to give it another chance, and I couldn't fit to her lifestyle at that point. I had changed. It was painful, but I knew the best thing that I could do for her was to leave.
The couple separated on April 26, 1995, and divorced the following year.
It's not the typical divorce in Hollywood. It went without a hitch, except for the painful aspect of it.
It always bothered her that her parents were divorced and was afraid of getting married just in case it happened to her. So when it did happen, yeah, she was devastated. It was a very sad situation for both of them and for Chloe.
I went into extreme denial. I didn't like being a burden or pretending that I was, suffering from it.
After the split, Newton-John began dating again. She met 40-year-old cameraman Patrick McDermott on a commercial shoot. The couple kept their relationship low-key and out of the press, but Olivia remained highly visible to her fans. In November 1997, she promoted breast cancer awareness on the TV show Murphy Brown.
$750.
I heard about your breast cancer. I know you're going to be fine. $800.
What better outcome could you ask for from something so negative? And for Olivia to turn it around into this incredible positive.
Olivia loved to focus on the positive events in her life, so she was thrilled to pull her leather jacket out of the closet in 1998 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Grease. The film had become the highest-grossing movie musical of all time.
It amazes me that so many people would show up for the re-release premiere.
Every year, a new bunch of little kids find that movie, and I have 7- and 8-year-olds who come to my concerts because they want to see the Grease songs.
The following year, Olivia jumped back to the big screen in the independent film Sordid Lives. As ex-con Bitsy May, Newton-John was forced to shed her good girl image.
When she came in looking like Bitsy May, beyond what I thought that the character should be. And then, she started adding the walk, and she wanted to chew the gum. That was her choice. So she really started layering in a lot of these character beats.
I had no idea about the tumor. I'm so sorry. But I got to tell you, Peggy touched my life. The nymphomaniac Peggy, with all due respect, we were close. Very close.
Sordid Lives hit theaters in May 2000 and won critical acclaim on the festival circuit.
See you boys in the funny papers.
Over the next couple of years, Newton-John continued to amaze her loyal fans while touring the world. But the failure of Koala Blue still haunted her. In 2002, she decided to resurrect the brand, this time as a wine company. But the good times didn't last. On August 29, 2003, Olivia lost her biggest supporter. Irena Newton-John died at age 89.
The last thing she said to us was, Olivia and Rona, take care of each other.
It was very hard for my mom when her mother passed away. They were very close.
Newton-John refused to give in to her sorrow and kept working. Because of Olivia's interest in holistic health, she opened the Gaia Hotel and Spa in Byron Bay, Australia. When the resort debuted in February 2005, Olivia spent several months there to promote the lavish retreat. But while Newton-John was in the land down under, trouble surfaced back in the States. Her boyfriend, Patrick McDermott, vanished without a trace. In the summer of 2005, 56-year-old Olivia Newton-John was promoting her new health spa and resort in Australia. She had no idea that her boyfriend, 48-year-old Patrick McDermott, was missing. On June 30th, McDermott boarded the Freedom fishing boat at the 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California.
The overnight trip starts at 10 o'clock at night, usually returns about 8 o'clock the following night. When the boat comes back in at 8 o'clock, we have a cleaning crew that comes in. They found a fanny pack.
On July 6th, McDermott was supposed to attend a family function with his ex-wife and his son. Patrick never arrived. A few days later, on July 11th, his ex-wife called the manager of the 22nd Street Landing. Liversedge told her he had Patrick's fanny pack.
She identified it and said that that belonged to him. I asked her, could I have permission to open it? She said, yes. I opened it up. His wallet, some organizers and stuff were in there, and his car keys. There was no money in there. His credit cards were there, his driver's license, and that was about as far as I went.
She also described McDermott's car to Liversedge. The 1995 Toyota 4Runner was later discovered in the marina parking lot.
So I came back to my office and I called the Coast Guard and the police and said we possibly have a missing person.
Law enforcement officials began an immediate investigation into Patrick McDermott's whereabouts.
The Coast Guard and the police were here probably a total of every day for 3 or 4 weeks for one thing or another, asking some type of question.
At first, the McDermott case didn't get much attention. But when an Australian newspaper linked Patrick to Olivia, a media storm flooded the pier.
It was pandemonium.
This is not a normal case that I've seen that has been handled by the Coast Guard Investigation Service. I know they handle these kind of things, but it's the first time that one's gotten this much attention.
The guy had disappeared and no one really knew what happened to him.
The press hounded Olivia. Newton-John canceled public appearances to avoid discussing Patrick. Instead, she issued this statement, quote, "As you are all now aware, my dear friend Patrick McDermott, who I love very much, is missing. He was last seen on a charter fishing boat on June 30th. Out of respect for his family, I have chosen not to make any public statements until now. For those of us who know and love him, it has been a truly heartbreaking experience, and we have chosen to deal with it privately."
She has been dealt another recent blow, the disappearance of her boyfriend.
She's been through more hardships, I think, than anybody that I really know. I mean, a lot of pain, and she's gone through something this year that is the unthinkable.
The ordeal continued. Throughout July, investigators scoured the vessel for clues.
This is a Freedom. It's an 85-foot sport fishing boat, licensed to carry 86 people overnight sport fishing. This was the boat that Patrick McDermott was last seen aboard.
Records show that McDermott boarded the Freedom on June 30th, 2005 at approximately 10 p.m.
He was on the boat. He went fishing. He signed a manifest.
At 7 p.m. on July 1st, the Freedom headed back to port.
Half hour out from the lighthouse, we bring all the passengers in here one at a time. They come in and they pay their galley bill right here.
A receipt dated July 1st proved McDermott paid all his expenses.
The period of time where Patrick supposedly have disappeared on the boat, all the people were facing the stern part of the boat. The crew is back here in the back working. And you can see there's standing right here. There's no way anyone could go over the side or into the water without someone seeing him.
Investigators dug deeper into Patrick's disappearance and his past. According to court documents, McDermott filed for bankruptcy in March 2000. He was also having trouble with child support payments for his son.
It was none of my business. And if he chose to talk about it, then hey, I'll help you, you know. But he never did. He wouldn't want his son to know that there was any financial difficulties. That's just the way Pat was. He loved his son. And you don't make your son worry. And Patrick wouldn't. He's that kind of a dad.
A number of questions about Patrick's disappearance remained unanswered, but the manager of the 22nd Street Landing was certain of the basic facts.
We know that we sold him a ticket, and we also know that he signed in on the boat and went through the safety lecture and so forth. And we know that he paid his galley bill half hour out from the breakwater. And that just indicates to us that he climbed off the boat. And what happened to him after that, I don't know.
Then all of a sudden, when the newspapers are accumulating, then you're beginning to get a little bit uncomfortable. And gee, I wonder where he's at. He's been gone a little while here, but there's other things that go through your mind too. Maybe he just took off.
Patrick McDermott has still not been found.
Right now, it's been looked at as a missing persons case, and nothing else is deviated from that.
6 months after the guy disappeared, they had a whole Navy dive team down here. I don't know what you'd find underneath a boat after 6 months.
The new year brought better days for Olivia. On January 14th, 2006, Newton-John received a Lifetime Achievement Award as part of an Australia Week celebration in Los Angeles.
I've been reflecting a lot on what I've achieved to receive this award from my heartland of Australia, a country my father described as rugged, passionate, and untamed like its people. Australia, who took my family in and gave me opportunities to learn and grow and taught me my never give upness, a sense of humor to laugh at myself and not take anything too seriously.
I can't imagine that Australia could have a better ambassador than Olivia Newton-John.
She is the queen as far as Australians are concerned.
Queen Olivia has certainly earned her regal reputation. she remains a beloved pop singer, social activist, and devoted mother. Through it all, the 57-year-old breast cancer survivor has shown the world how to overcome adversity with grace and style.
We're talking about a woman who's been through a lot. For some reason, she keeps getting tested, and she keeps coming through beyond our expectations.
It doesn't really matter that she is beautiful. It doesn't really matter that she sings in tune and really like a bird. It doesn't really matter that she acted in movies and was big with John Travolta, because the thing that impresses you is that she is so nice.
She's a little bit of a Mother Teresa to me. She just wants to help everybody.
There are no masks with Olivia. There's not a phoniness to Olivia.
Not a hint of attitude, air, or star crap.
Olivia Newton-John is an icon. I mean, she's loved by everybody. I mean, not only in Australia, but the world over.
When people find out I'm Olivia's sister, they usually say to me, is she really as nice as they say she is? And the answer is yes, she really is.
Live in the moment. Stop and smell the roses. Don't take yourself too seriously. Life is a gift and enjoy every day.